Hello, hello. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am so excited to bring you another fellow female entrepreneur. I've been doing a whole series of these. If you look back in my feed, you can see several other ones. They're also posted online at dropleaf.co if you go to the blog. But it's one of my favorite things to do, just to sit down with fellow female entrepreneurs, to hear their story, to find out what inspires them, what their journey's been like, and all of that stuff. So before I bring on my special guest, let me introduce myself real quickly. My name is Jen Petro, and I'm the owner of Dropleaf Communications, which is a marketing communications company based in Indianapolis. And we provide marketing support to businesses big and small, and we also help female entrepreneurs start the businesses of their dreams. And so that's part of what I am doing this, bringing you guys interviews with women who have taken their idea and run with it. And so today I'm excited to bring you Andie Hines. Andie is the owner of Red Tree, which is a marketing and event planning company based in my hometown, Fort Wayne, Indiana. And she also runs a very cool, very growing nonprofit for entrepreneurial women called Own Your Success. And the coolest part of all of this is that she drove all the way down from Fort Wayne just to hang out with me. So guess what? She's right here.
Hi.
I love when I actually get to do these in person. It doesn't always happen that way. So anyway, welcome. Thank you for making the trip.
Thanks.
So Andie and I have all kinds of freaky things in common. So let's talk about this for a minute. So both from Fort Wayne, Indiana, which is about 2 hours away from Indianapolis. Both of us own a marketing company. Mm-hmm. Both of us spend lots of our time and resources helping other women start businesses. So I run a 12-week business building course just for women, and you run this nonprofit, and you do all kinds of other things just in the community of helping women grow businesses. And what else? We both love wine. Are you sure we weren't separated at birth?
I'm pretty sure we were.
I think maybe we were.
I don't know. The hair and eyes.
We don't look a lot alike.
No.
Anyway, I would love for you to just start out by maybe in your own words talking about both of these parts of your world and how they came to be.
Okay.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Andie. I'm so excited to be here today.
And we're both sweating.
Yeah,
it's
the
so
office
hot.
is really warm.
The AC has broken, and so we're glistening.
Yes, we look a little dewy, but that's okay. Back in 2014, I like to just be real about my story of how it all started. I find usually with women entrepreneurs, it's not all sunshine and rainbows that led them to starting their own business, and I think it's important that we own that and make sure that other women entrepreneurs know that we're all in that same boat. So in early 2014 I found out I had cervical cancer, and that was just a big wake-up call for me to do something that I loved and I was passionate about and good at and all those sorts of things. So as soon as I got all those icky cells out of my body, and I'm totally healthy as far as that goes, I started Red Tree. I left my job and started Red Tree. And
so you went full, you took the plunge.
Yeah, I just literally quit my job, and I gave them 2 weeks, and then they were sort of like, or you can leave now, and I was like, okay, bye. That's even better.
That's a great story.
So I do, as she said, all aspects of marketing and corporate event planning. And it's great fun. I love it. I always say I can do it all day with my eyes closed and one hand tied behind my back. But what really lights me up and what I'm really passionate about is helping women entrepreneurs. It's such important work, and there's so much to be done. I'm very passionate about it. I always say, if you will listen to me for 5 minutes, I will talk your ear off about it. So excited to have this opportunity today. So a few months after I started Red Tree, I started Own Your Success, and it happened very much on accident. I invited 16 of my entrepreneur girlfriends to lunch, and so they could meet each other and maybe do business together.
Love it.
But they invited friends, and so 30 women showed up, and it was great fun. Everybody brought a thing from their business, and we did it speed networking.
Nice.
And then in the end, everybody drew a card and got something from someone else's business. So we had a horseback riding lesson and a beautiful potted plant and a headshot. I think Lisa might be watching.
Nice.
It was really, really fun, and it was over and everyone was leaving, and I was like, bye. And they were like, when's the next one?
Oh, I love
that. A few months later, I did another one, and 60 women showed up.
That's great.
And that was when I was sort of like, got it.
There's something
this
here.
needs to be a thing.
Yeah. That's the story so often. I think my business, I always say I'm an accidental entrepreneur, where it just grows organically and you don't necessarily even, I love hearing stories like that, because I think I said this before, but so often people think, I've got to have this all figured out, I got to have a business plan, I got to have like all the things before I even think of starting a business. And that is very often not the case.
No, totally. And I think it's a huge testament to this is how you know that you are living your true purpose. Yeah. If you know, things are just happening and just coming together, that's how you know you are where you're supposed to be. And I tell people, I feel like I'm like this cosmic magnet for women entrepreneurs now, because I meet them everywhere.
I believe that.
In line at the grocery store, you know, and in my driveway. I sold a love seat on like Facebook garage sales, and this woman came to pick it up, and she was like, you know, I'm getting this love seat to put in like the playroom at my house for my grandkids, and you know, I work from home and it's so isolating, and I never see anybody and I never talk to anybody. And I said,
like, I'm the girl.
I go, you think you came here to buy a love seat today, but actually you came here so that we could meet. And it was great fun. And another favorite story was one time I was at Starbucks working, like we all do, and this woman came in and sat down and kind of looked over her shoulder at me, and she goes, I feel like I'm supposed to talk to you. And I said, yeah? What's going on? And I said, well, what do you do? And she says, well, I have one business. I'm thinking about starting another business. And I sort of patted the table. I said, come sit down. That's why you...
Go get your drink. Come sit down. We're going to be here a while.
So it's just been a really, really cool journey. And now it is definitely worth sharing that we're at 365 members
on Facebook, in your Facebook group.
Yeah, we have a secret Facebook group that is all women entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And a few of our board members.
Yeah.
But
I love it.
So yeah, that's so an incredible group.
It is an incredible group. I love being part of it, and I think part of what's fun about it, I mean, lots of things about it are great, but I like how diverse the posts are. So, you know, you might see a resource that's super helpful, or a new tool being recommended, or a person being recommended, or some sort of resource. And then there might be a joke or something really funny, or just a story about another woman who has started a business. And I love the storytelling part of that. But just, I don't know, there's so much encouragement, there's so much resourcing, and I feel like we need all those things. Like, I think it's easy just to feel like, okay, if I'm going to start a business, I need all the tools and the business savviness, but there's so much more you need. You need cheerleaders, you need accountability, you need support, you need all of these things. And so I love that about your group. Because you see all those things happening.
And actually I've read several studies, white papers, things like that, about the fact that the number one thing that women entrepreneurs need is not space, it's not funding, it's not technology, it's not staff, like it's none of those things. It's a strong peer community. And again, just a testament to all the work that we are doing. And I've had members tell me, you know, I felt so kind of lost and alone until I found this group, and now I feel like I can carry on, you know, and I feel that way too, honestly. Our members inspire me every single day. You know, it's in, you know, days where I feel like I don't know if I'm doing this right, you know, maybe on the red tree side of my world, or I'm just feeling overwhelmed or whatever. I can log in and everyone is there, and they're talking and they're helping each other, and it's so uplifting and inspiring.
It is. And just to see that you're not alone. Because I think it can be very isolating, as you know. Starting a business and being a female entrepreneur can be an isolating thing, and I think just knowing like there are other people on this journey. I mean, it's what I love about the business building program I get to do, because it's like, we're in this together. We're going to help keep each other accountable and learn together and fall on our faces together and get back up together and all those things. So I love that about your group too. So talk a little bit maybe about, you know, what were some of the limiting beliefs or doubts or fears or struggles that you faced early on, or that you still face today?
Well, I think a lot of people have, or a lot of, I guess, women, I can speak more specifically, but, you know, we have that fear of like, what if I don't actually know what I'm doing? What if somebody else is better at it than me? Or what if people won't pay me for what I do? Or
what if I'm a total fraud?
I mean, the whole imposter syndrome thing, look it up if you don't know what that is, but women definitely suffer with that. So those were some of the, I would say, early pitfalls. And, you know, women are just as, there are other just sort of community perceptions of, and I'm not just talking Fort Wayne, social perceptions, I guess I should say, of women-owned businesses, and especially small business, that we're on some level not a legitimate business, particularly if you work from home. You know, it's like, oh, look at your cute little stay-at-home mom hobby. I don't know if people think we're like scrapbooking and baking cookies while the children are running amok. I have no idea. That's not what my life looks like. But
I love that. So that's so true.
Yeah, and I think on some level, women are just as guilty of having that perception of other women. Because it is so societal and ingrained, and so a lot of the work that we do in Own Your Success is helping to kind of break down that stereotype. It is definitely worth noting here, though, absolutely no disrespect for stay-at-home moms, because that is 100% a full-time job.
That's so much harder than my job. I always say that, and I mean that because I've done it. I did it for a few years. I'm like, that is significantly harder than the job I do. So I love that you said that. That is a whole other
thing.
Yeah, that's so true. So how did you get past that stuff? Like, what do you do or have you done to push past when those things started to creep into your head?
Well, again, just being totally honest, I still struggle with it some days, and especially, you know, you'll run into that person in the community who is giving you less credit than what you are worth.
For sure.
And
so that's when they tend to.
So that those ugly things kind of rise, and I want to say it was in Big Magic. If you've read that, but no, it's a book.
I don't know.
Brene Brown. Fantastic.
Love her.
Highly recommend it if you haven't read it.
Love her.
She goes on for like 2 pages about like the bottomless pit of you know, kind of horrible things that we tell ourselves, and so, you know, some days are better or easier in that regard than others,
for sure,
and certainly fewer and farther between the longer you're in it, and how I sort of overcome that. I mean, Jen, today coming here to talk to you, I was nervous, and which is so silly because I tell myself, it's Jen and I love her. She's fantastic. And it's not like I don't know. I'm not coming here to talk about something I don't know anything about.
I'm not going to ask you math questions.
I'm not talking to people who don't, you know, aren't on this wavelength. So,
but you're a human and we're human. And so that's,
a lot of it is just like, take a breath, take a pause, and go, wait a second. I do know what I'm doing. I am an expert in this field, whatever that might be for you. And just carry on. You know, that's at the end of the day, be yourself, be authentic, and just carry on.
I love that.
That's all you can do.
I love that. Well, on the flip side of that, then, what are some of the biggest helps? Like, what has helped you along the way or really buoyed you kind of on your journey as an entrepreneur? What are some people or things that have done that for you?
Like, first and foremost, I actually have to say my daughter, because so I have a daughter that'll be 15 next month, which is like,
scary.
What? Because obviously I'm not old enough to have a daughter that old, but she is amazing, and she sometimes is my rock. And she was the one who first said to me, you know, I had to go to a speaking engagement, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. And she's like, Mom, it's not like you don't know this material, you know,
you live and breathe it.
This is who you are, you know, just so she is one of the number one things in my life that and she's my why, you know. So a lot of times I can like push that head trash to the side and go, I'm gonna do these things because I have to, because of her. And I, you know, not only because it's how I'm providing, but it's also how I'm setting an example for her as she becomes an adult.
Absolutely.
And she wants to be an entrepreneur now, you know.
Love it.
So that's like the biggest thing. The second biggest thing, though, like close on the heels of that, is for sure Own Your Success. And just all the support and encouragement, even if it's not outright being said, like, hey, I support you today, sister, you know, that it's just the fact that they're there.
They showed up. I love it. And they're there because you showed up. Like, that's the coolest part of it all.
True.
That's so true. And I love that you mentioned like the reconnecting with your why, which happens to be your daughter in your case. But I think that is a key piece of advice, because so often, even once you're getting going, and maybe you're at the beginning or maybe you're down the road and you have momentum, but if you lose sight of the why, which is really easy to do in the daily grind of things, it is easy to feel like you're floundering and to have the self-doubts creep in. But if you can always go back to your why, which looks different for every woman, that just has a way, I think, of resetting you and rejuvenating you and reminding you of why you're doing what you're doing. So
definitely.
I love that. Let's see. Tell us a little bit more about like what's on the horizon for Own Your Success. Like right now you've got several hundred women.
Yes.
And I know you do events, and I mean, you do speaking events, and you write in the paper. I feel like I see you everywhere, and I'm not even in your town.
Thanks for paying attention.
I know, but we're in the same state, so it's not that far away. But you're doing all kinds of cool things. So tell us, like, what are some of the cool things that you're really excited about coming forward?
So I'm super excited to, I guess, announce to you guys that we just started fundraising as an organization, and have already met our first fundraising goal. Awesome. So that is how much our community believes in us. So that's super exciting. With that money, we are going to have our first website built. Yay! A lot of this has been so like cart before the horse, because it happens so quickly and organically. So we're going to have a website where you'll be able to go and see a little bit more information. Right now, we do have a public Facebook page too, though, that folks can go and see upcoming events. I don't share our member events, but we have one event in there right now that is a little bit more open to the public. But so that's on Facebook, and it's OYS Fort Wayne. And so the website, I'm also doing some additional fundraising to open a WomenSpecific Workspace in Fort Wayne. Yeah, I'm so excited about
then I have a place to work when I come up.
Yay! Which hopefully will be
I know. And hopefully the AC will work.
Yes.
That is so needed, though, a place to go.
Yeah. And there are some other really great workspaces in Fort Wayne for sure, but nothing women specific. And so we are looking at filling a unique niche with that, and having things like space to pump if you're a nursing mom, and having some programming that's a little bit more like yoga and meditation type stuff. So yeah, just having some of those different programs and amenities that are geared really specifically toward women. But again, I'm looking at a space that's really centrally located downtown, which is where all the entrepreneurial stuff is happening right now. So just keeping that density and walkable to the other spaces and all that kind of thing. So super excited about that. So the other thing coming up that I am excited about is so. First of all, this need is not unique to Fort Wayne, Indiana. So once I check a few of these boxes, I do want to start looking at what does it look like to replicate this in other markets and start having sister organizations in other communities.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, I've already connected with groups of women entrepreneurs in Ann Arbor. Yeah. We talked about our mutual friend in Ann Arbor. Hi, Dave, if you're watching. In Columbus, Ohio, and in Indianapolis. That's too. Awesome. So
I know some people.
I'm sure that you probably do. So yeah, that would be amazing.
That's very exciting.
And then also creating student chapters at universities.
That's awesome.
I meet so many young women who either have already started businesses or want to when they graduate,
and they just don't know where to start.
Yeah, they don't know where to start, and you think you and I need a support team. I mean, please, they're coming out and they don't know anybody.
Fresh-faced.
So, and then along with that, there will be a University to Entrepreneurship Bridge program. Through which they can have an office with us for 1 year, participate in all of our programming, have access to peer-to-peer mentoring within the group, have access to business coaching, and get a little bit of capital funding to get started. So
exciting.
Yeah, so it's a lot.
That is a lot. You're a busy girl.
It is amazing, and it's just...
It is. And it buoys you on. Like, I feel like that gives you so much momentum of just knowing, like, there's where we're headed, and there are exciting things coming down the pike. And so
Yes.
I think that also can be a helpful thing when you're in those moments of like,
For sure.
being able to look forward. I want to go back to one thing you said about the website, because it struck me, again, this goes back to feeling like you have to have it all together before you launch a business. I mean, she started this 4 years ago, and she's just now super excited about the fact they're going to get a legit website. And I mean, I say that not to discredit anything, but to say that's sometimes how it happens. And I see so many women who sit across the table from me and say, I don't have the money for a logo and a website, so I can't start a business. It's like, no.
Start.
Like, just start. And I think, that's my next question for you is, what advice would you give? But I think so often we look at the how, and the how just kills it. Like the how, if you get tripped up on the how am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for this? How am I going to find clients? How am I going to, it'll just crush your dream. And so I want Andie's story to serve as an inspiration to you, because she didn't have it all figured out. Neither did I, not even close. Or did she have all the resources and things that she quote unquote needed to start a business? So I didn't want to make too big of a deal of that, but I feel like that's a really key thing to take away from this. It's just that you don't have to have all those things that you think you need to get going and to do an amazing job like you've done. So okay, back to the advice piece. So I know a lot of women that have been watching this series. They have something they're passionate about, or a talent or a skill or whatever it is that they want to bring to the world and start a business, but they're terrified and they're overwhelmed because it's an overwhelming thing. What would you say to them? What would your Andie wisdom be?
Well, the first thing I always say is, if you're the only reason you're not doing it is because you're terrified and overwhelmed, look at it like this. If you don't do that thing that is your purpose, that is your gift, you are keeping something from happening in the world that is meant to happen. And it's almost like it's something bigger than you, and you just need to be the vessel. And just let it happen.
Get out of your own way.
Exactly.
We're
Get
always
out
in
of
our
your
own
own
way.
way. Yes. Oh, women are so good at being in their own way.
That's great.
But again, just kind of going back to that whole be authentic, be you. Check back with your why. I a lot of times call it your roadmap. Like, does this make sense with what I set out to do?
Right.
Because this is kind of maybe something for another day, but scope creep is real. So you have to keep checking your math and being like, okay, wait, I can't do that because that actually doesn't have any, it looks very shiny and pretty, but it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm doing here right now.
That's great
and
advice.
Sometimes, especially early on, you have to be very strict about that.
Yes.
Because early you can quickly get outside of what you set out to do.
Yep. That is a good one.
But just being yourself and being kind and being genuine and just keep doing the work. Some days it will be hard, and some days you will cry, and some days you will have gin and French fries for dinner. Just
saying.
Speculating. But you just have to get up the next morning and keep going. And for me, those are always the days where something amazing happens.
I love that. That is so true. I read in one of your op-eds, I think, or maybe you'll have to correct me, it might have been a podcast, but you said, they asked you for advice, and you said, my biggest advice is to be kind and be true to who you are, which is what you basically just said. And I was going to make you say that again if you hadn't, because I love that advice, because I think if you look at the end of the day, those two things, it's that will grow your business.
Absolutely.
If you're kind and you're out to serve others well, and you're true to who you are, you can't go wrong, sister.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Well, before we wrap up, can you tell people again where to find you, or where on social media, or wherever you want to send people?
Sure.
Tell them where to go.
So if you want to contact me directly, it's just oysportwayne@gmail.com. And if you want to just, so if you're a woman entrepreneur watching and you want to be a member, because we are a secret group, either reach out to Jen or me, and either one of us can add you to the group.
And you don't, can I clarify, you don't have to be in Fort Wayne or even
No, you don't.
Indiana. This
Nope.
is for all women.
No, I was
doer.
telling
Yeah.
Jen, I just added a woman who lives in Washington, D.C. that just opened her
Good.
first restaurant. So
Very cool.
So yeah, and then, or if you just want to kind of follow along on the sidelines,
Be a stalker,
that's cool
it's okay.
too. Yeah. We have a public Facebook page, and that's just OYS Fort Wayne.
Gotcha,
So,
gotcha. I would encourage you guys to check it out. Go to the public page or request to join, because it is an amazing group and it's very active. You know, a lot of times I hear about some of these groups, similar groups, and you go, it's like they haven't posted in 3 months or something. Like, that's not this group. There are things happening all the time, all kinds of resources and encouragement. So I would definitely encourage you to check it out and to request to join. So
yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here, my friends.
Yes, thank
We're
you.
gonna go have lunch.
Yay.
And maybe shop a little.
And maybe wine.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.